What's up, y'all? Welcome back to MSM Audio. I'm Tim. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Breaking Piano Fingering Rules, Flexible Tips for Better Playing. In the beginning stages, you learn a basic piano fingering principle. You're starting at your middle C, your thumb is the 1, index 2, middle 3, ring finger 4, pinky 5. And then with your left, thumb 1, index 2, middle 3, ring 4, pinky 5. And I followed these rules pretty rigidly in the beginning. And, you know, as I was playing certain pieces and passages, the next note would be played by the next open finger as I went along. And that's just not an effective style of playing, staying so rigid to what the rules are. And anytime I learn something of value, I want to make sure I share it as I continue along on my own journey. So, what I've learned is you can you can break those rules. The rules aren't so hard and fast and rigid. You can break those rules, and you have several options available to change the piano fingerings, change your technique, and depending on the piece or the passage that you're playing, there may be musical reasons to change the piano fingering. So, I'm in the key of C. If I played something simple, that last part, G, F, G, F, G, I played with the 4 and the 5 finger, which are the weaker fingers. And just playing in general, you can feel that the 4 and the 5 are the more weaker fingers. 1, 2, and 3 are more stronger. So certain pieces may call for you to change your technique, and there may be musical reasons as well. You may need to play a specific articulation, or the dynamics may need to change. So you may need to play faster and louder, for instance. So instead of playing how I played before, you can go. And instead of playing the index finger, the 2 finger, you can now play with the 1, the thumb, and it positions the 2 and the 3, 2 stronger fingers, to now play that GFGF. It feels stronger. You can play it more smoother. It removes that level of difficulty playing with the weaker fingers. And again, if you had to play a specific articulation or change the dynamics, you put yourself in the best position to convey the musical idea that the piece calls for. Moving on, let's say if I were in the key of F, same idea applies. And now this time there's a whole step between the 4 and the 5, and there's a black key involved, and it just feels awkward. Sometimes things will be awkward and you will have to use the 4 and the 5, but again, you have options to change your piano fingering to play the piece more smoothly, fluidly, more solid overall. So the same thing applies. Instead of playing with the 2, bring the 1 over, and again, you position your stronger fingers, the 2 and the 3, to play the C and the B flat. So you better position yourself to make sure that you play a piece more solidly and that the musical idea that's being conveyed, you can play it in the manner that it was supposed to be played. And depending on, your hand size, I have smaller hands, but depending on the characteristics of your hand, if you have larger hands, longer fingers, the shape of your hand, there are several different options that you can go through with piano fingering techniques that work for you. You know, it just changes the ergonomics, right, of playing. Like with the key of F, you can feel you can feel the awkwardness with the 4 and the 5 if you try playing it. It feels awkward. You can see the awkwardness as opposed to using these two stronger fingers. So, what this highlighted for me was that I definitely need to work on my 4 and the 5 fingers. Even though I have those options, which is great, but it also highlights the need for the strength in the 4 and the 5 fingers, because you'll definitely need to use those. You know, the fingerings can be awkward sometimes, but there will be instances where the purpose is not immediately obvious why you have to use those awkward fingerings, right? There are musical reasons, but to know that you have options to change your technique, to better position yourself, to convey the musical idea, specific articulation, if you need to change the dynamics. You know, fingering is not only a technical issue, but also a musical one. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Breaking Piano Fingering Rules, tips for a flexible playing style. See you on the next one. MSM Audio.